Okay, so day number, I don't know how many now. It's been too many. Where are we up to? I've got the roof done, the floor done, the center done, the back done, the parcel shelf done. I've got the driver's side door done, and now I've just got to do the rest of the doors and finish up some little bits like along the sides, and then go into the pillars and finish off the pillars. This has been a hell of a job so far, and I'm really not looking forward to having to put the whole car back together. Here is the roof, the front, the center. We've got the back, got the parcel shelf. So it's been a few days since I have filmed anything in the car, and I've been kind of taking a look at how I was doing the sound dampening, especially in the doors, and trying to work out the best way to do it. So if you come over here and have a look, let's have a look down here at the door. Whoop, I've gone too far. Okay. So what I wanted to do was have one big piece of sound dampening across most of the door. However, that's just not possible with the number of holes that end up needing to be cut everywhere and spaces for wiring and stuff like that. So what I've instead ended up with is a few different parts that are obviously smaller, and I've been able to get better holes cut around them. As you can see, I still have pretty rough cuts, especially for circles. Some areas are a little bit shoddy and I need to work on my my precision, my cutting skills there. However, for the most part, it covers most of the surface area, more than that 30% that is needed, and then so that helps to stop this part of the door vibrating. And then on the inside, you can just see here where I've laid the matting all the way along the upper and lower parts. Around there is actually a metal beam in here. You'll just be able to see that there probably. But there's this metal beam, and there's this steel tube running across, and so that splits the door upper and lower halves of it. So on each upper and lower half, I have more dampening matting running through there, and then I've got the foam on the inside of that. So I'm interested to see how much of a difference is made now that the foam is going to be inside the doors, because I didn't really. So when I kind of came up with this idea, I expected to put the foam on the inside of the door cards themselves. I didn't really think about the idea of putting it against the actual inside of the skin, against the actual inside of the door there. So I'm interested to see how well that works. Just tapping on the outside of the door, the difference between this one, which I feel is pretty much done, and the other doors which have nothing on them at all, there's actually a substantial difference. So it'll be nice to see whether or not this helps to reduce that road noise, and not the noise coming from the wheels themselves on the ground, on the road themselves, but just noise of other vehicles going past, things like that. So I'm going to now try and do the rest of the doors, and we'll see how that goes. Damn, that went straight on. That went straight back on with foam in it and everything. That's amazing. Now that I have sufficiently sound dampened most of the car, these 3 of the doors are done, 1, 2, and 3 are done. This is the last one that's left to do. I just thought it would be interesting to kind of show the difference. I put this on my Instagram story the other day, but I thought it would be good to include in the video. This door has been sound dampened, this one has not. Listen to the difference in just the sound that resonates through them. So I think that's actually really interesting. You can see the difference that's made just there alone in the doors. So if you wanted to put the butyl dampener and some of the foam in the doors like I've done, it actually makes a surprising difference and adds almost no weight and costs, you know, it'll cost you like $100 maybe. So it makes me kind of wonder if there's a good way of taking the mud guards and stuff out of the inside of the wheel arch, cleaning up the wheel arch, lining that, and then putting all the guards back in and stopping these panels from making quite so much noise. See, even the roof is nice and quiet now that I've put the sound dampener on the roof. So in the future, I am going to do a video on taking the screen out of the top of the ICC, because none of these buttons here are really needed. I've never used them. In the last 6 years that I've not had a touch screen at the top of my ICC, I have not used those buttons. So I'm gonna do a video on putting a good CarPlay / Android multimedia system in there and just moving that screen just for the air conditioning and stuff down to the bottom and wiring up a good quality sound system in the car. So for now, that means that this stuff here is not needed, is no longer necessary. I don't even remember how it all went in, but today my task is to pull all this out, clean the inside of this space up, and apply the remaining sound dampening and foam that I have here in the boot to see if that helps reduce some of the exhaust noises, that sort of stuff. Okay, so I've used what's left of my butyl rubber, of this sound dampener. I've covered some of these surfaces. Basically, I was keeping in mind the whole 30% thing, and I thought to myself, what areas do I want to try and reduce vibrating and resonance? Obviously, I would have liked to have done the rear quarters if I had enough material, but I basically looked at this and went, okay, so the spare wheel well has nothing between it and the road and the exhaust and all that noise, so I thought I would throw in enough dampener to help reduce vibrations in this area. Obviously, the wheel arches already have some of the factory stuff on them, but hang on, I'm just bashing the mic around. Obviously, the wheel arches already have stuff on them from factory, but I thought, why the hell not? I'll add a little bit more, and with what little I had left over after that, I threw some up here and up here, just so that way it would help. Drop to the microphone again, and up here, just so that way it would kind of try and help reduce some of that noise. Remember, on the other side of this, the parcel shelf, or whatever you want to call it, on the other side of that is where we have already completely covered with sound dampener, and the foam and the seats and everything will go there. So with all of the sound dampening put in and all the foam put in, the next thing to do was to compare the decibel readings that I had got before putting anything in the car and then the ones afterwards. So this is the best clip that I have of before. And these are the best clips that I have afterwards. So just by the numbers off of this decibel reading app, there's actually no difference between without and with sound dampening. So it's quite interesting to see, especially when actually being in the car. My perception of it is that it's a lot quieter now. I have noticed there's a lot less road noise, a lot less noise of other cars driving past, that sort of thing. Even just when the car is idling or when I'm just in a car park or something, there's actually a significant difference between the amount of sound that was getting in before putting the sound dampening in and then the sound that's actually getting into the car now. Now I can definitely hear that the windows are the weak point where a lot of the sound is actually getting into the car from. So by the numbers, things don't really look to have changed all of that much, just from those clips that I was able to get. But in terms of my actual perception of how the car sounds over the last couple of months, actually, since I did all this work and sound dampened it, it's a lot better now. It's a lot quieter, a lot more comfortable. And I'd say overall, I actually rate this as having been really worth it. So take those clips as you will, or my experience, what I have to say as you will, deciding whether or not you actually feel like doing this. But I would say definitely worth it. All of the work at the end of the day, 100% worth it. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. You can follow on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that, and I will see you guys in the next video.